feel like rambling today, so here we are. Starting off with the news, this week Bungie laid off 220 people, and seemingly a good chunk of the people laid off only found out via Twitter. So that's great. This, like the last wave of layoffs, affected basically the entirety of Bungie, and allegedly is because of Bungie essentially stretching resources too thinly on top of a certain world event affecting the economy and creating several incubation projects. To where apparently even the success of the final shape could not actually stop this from happening. If you just ignore the CEO allegedly having bought Vidge's cars and bragging about them prior to this, and then immediately privating his Twitter account to presumably avoid criticism, which is not really the best look, allegedly. This is obviously awful news, especially after the final shape and Into the Light success. This been hits in narrative, QA, sound design, and more, which is quite devastating for the devs and honestly Destiny as a whole. And I'd recommend offering any support to the devs you can, as it seems quite a few of them are responsible for some of your favorite features being in the game. One of them, for example, is the reason shadow skating is still in the game. Both normal and GM Excision alongside Dual Destiny actually work. Fire Team Finder was fully implemented from beta so quickly. Season of the Witch didn't have constant spelling errors. Edge Transit was actually usable during Contest Salvation's Edge, and the Witness didn't literally fall over during it. Solstice won't break the game. Onslaught's random waves actually work. There isn't giant holes in Neomuna in the Throne World, and Weave Walk actually existing in the game. So if you like any of those, please for the love of God support the devs because they are trying the hardest to make the game good despite everything. And with that in mind, at the moment there's a lot of doom and gloom in the community for a number of reasons. Primarily the leaks. At least as far as I can tell, there's a lot of leaks right now. From DLCs allegedly no longer being a thing to a rumored D3 also never being a thing. I don't blame anyone for really thinking the franchise is dead, but I can't help but see the possible good in this. At the start, I was very much so in the camp of literally everything is over and we're doomed literally forever. But I would like to pose a little bit of more of a positive look towards things. If I actually can, that is. Obviously, not getting DLCs such as the Final Shape or Witch Queen ever again is bad. However, Destiny seems to now be taking the Warframe approach as far as I can see, and I'm not really against that idea. From what I'm reading, we're now getting something called content packs instead of DLCs. And they're apparently free, with the monetization going forward becoming season passes, dungeon keys, and obviously Eververse, alongside being about Shadowkeep sized. Both something mentioned about seasons being Into the Light styled, but I'm not really too sure. And going off of what I've read, there are honestly two possible options, which, again, this is all leaks and nothing official, so take it with a grain of salt. Either we get a Shadowkeep sized DLC, an Into the Light style season, another Shadowkeep style DLC, and then another Into the Light styled season in 6 month intervals. Which means you'd get 2 destinations, 2 campaigns, 2 raids, plus whatever else on a smaller scale per year, plus an episode of content seemingly on, again, 6 month intervals. Which is honestly quite a good option, with arguably more better content per year, and you only need to really check in once every 6 months or so to be able to actually experience everything per year. And I can honestly see it going pretty well from a player front. The worst option, though, would be instead of 2 Shadowkeeps, we instead get a Shadowkeep, an episode, an Into the Light sized update, and then another episode before the next year. Which sounds infinitely worse. However, from what I can see, most of the evidence seems to be pointing away from that. So that's good. The only real problem I see with this is the seasonal narrative is apparently being basically obliterated, as apparently it's going to go the old way of doing things where seasons or episodes, whatever they're calling them at this point, are apparently going to have no week-to-week narrative, which is something I'm honestly kind of against, as really all that was needed to make the formula a bit more interesting than go talk to vendor, go do planet, go do fetch quests, go to vendor, go do an activity, go to vendor, watch the cutscene, wait until next week, blah blah blah. All the useless fetch quest crap would be to honestly just make them I guess, differentiated week over week instead of just making us do that over and over. Maybe actually follow the path they've set out with this act and make it so maybe we do the seasonal activity one week, maybe a fetch quest another. Something honestly more similar to like Dawn's quest design might actually be kind of good in modern day Destiny with the content we actually have. Maybe actually make us do playlist activities for once even. That would be good. Just something different, maybe. I like even like the idea of seeing if maybe the sort of Mika 10 quest design could even work in terms of a seasonal quest format. I don't know, just do something different. That's literally all you need to do, just anything different. Anything other than just the complete swap. Over and over and over and over. But yeah, I'll be kind of sort of sad to see them go, as these stories themselves can sometimes actually be quite interesting. Seraph, Dawn, Witch, Wish, Worthy, Splicer, Chosen, Lost, and Arrivals are all examples, I believe, of good seasonal storytelling. So, in all honesty, as I said, be kind of sad to see them just be completely obliterated. Apparently, Bungie also wants to rebrand the game and bring in more new players with another renewed new player experience. As allegedly, only one shot was actually ever taken at it, so hopefully new players will actually come into the game now. There's definitely a lot that can actually be done there, but with the new content being free, it sounds honestly like it could be a good time to actually get new players in, since paywalls for all the new content was a large problem in the past. So, overall, I do personally think Destiny 2 is not actually going to die. At least anytime soon, based off the current things we're hearing from the leaks and stuff. However, it's whether that changes upon hearing the actual official news. However, considering these are coming from what I mostly consider the most reliable people in the industry, I'm on one to probably trust them. And I'm going to be playing and making content at least until I ever get completely bored of the game or the servers die, so I'll be sticking around at least. I just want to offer at least a more positive outlook on the whole situation, as that's how I'm currently feeling. However, again, I would do literally anything possible to support the developers who are currently trying to make Destiny great, and were laid off as a result of the allegedly poor management at Bungie. And if you don't want to play Destiny after this, whether it be because of management or just being disappointed with the game as a whole, I'd like to point you towards the countless MMOs and literature shooters you can play, such as Warframe, Final Fantasy XIV, First Descendant, Borderlands, and maybe Division 3 if that actually comes out by the one article that actually confirmed it exists. So yeah, thank you for listening to my ramblings, and if you enjoyed it all, like, comment, sub, and adios.